for Disease Control and Department of Education, 20 to 20% of students between 6th and 12th grade have experienced bullying. Look around the room. 1 out of every 4 people have experienced a form of bullying when they were in school. In this speech, I'm going to talk about a subject that may hit home for some people, myself included. And that topic is bullying. Bullying has been around for as long as anyone can remember. In this speech, I'll go over bullying in common forms, I'll go over the current state of the issue, and to wrap up, I'll explain what I feel the future holds as far as bullying goes. So with a roadmap in place, let's get started. Bullying has been in schools for as long as anyone can remember. My parents were bullied, I was bullied, and unfortunately my kids will probably be bullied too. And as much as it pains me to say, I think it's normal now that people experience bullying, whether it's a friend of theirs or happening to them specifically. And that's sad. Bullying has also evolved as we've grown as a society and technology also. Cyberbullying, as many of you may know, has been very rampant recently. It comes in many forms and all levels, whether it's Facebook, MySpace, Instant Messenger, online forums, and even YouTube. People constantly sit behind a keyboard and expressing their views, whether incorrect or not, and saying very hateful things to people that they don't even know. Things like, kill yourself, you suck, go die, get a life. The list goes on and on. And unfortunately, some people behind those keyboards and on the other side of the world responding to these things take them to heart and have taken their own lives. According to bullystatistics.org, they claim about 30% of students in the U.S. are involved in bullying. And that's unfortunate. 1 out of every 3 people, whether it's they're the bully themselves, they've seen it firsthand happen to their friends or someone else in their school, or that they're victim themselves. There's also making somebody an outcast, which is basically shunning them, not letting them join in groups, activities, things like that, not inviting them to things, and basically telling everyone else to treat them the same way so they have no contact with anybody. And that takes a huge toll on a person. Another form is hazing. This is probably one of the worst ones, which in layman's terms, it's basically a rite of passage according to the people that are performing these acts, whether it be public humiliation or even sexual assault sometimes, taking place from football players or occurring to students who are trying to join a fraternity or sorority. Now that I've talked to you about bullying in many of its forms, we're going to transition into its current state in our public schools. Bullying is constantly taking place, but I feel most occurrences go unreported, which basically means the kids are getting bullied at school, and then they just go home, run upstairs, bury their face in a pillow, or immerse themselves in something different to get away from what they experienced during their school day. I know when I was a kid and I was bullied, granted it wasn't that bad in accordance to others and what they've gone through and the things that I've read, but it still hurt. I would basically just go home, go upstairs, and go about my day and try to forget everything that happened. And that's how I coped with it, and I think, at least for me, it worked, which is good because I didn't have to bring anybody else into my situation and show them the things I was feeling. And that was okay with me. But some kids don't do that. Some kids resort to hurting themselves or drugs, alcohol, things like that, because they simply can't handle it. And that too is unfortunate. Which brings me to my next point. Training in our schools against bullying, how to identify it, and how to prevent it. I feel if teachers and parents had more training on how to identify and prevent bullying, the world would be a better place, at least a little bit better than what it is now. Antibullyingpro.com has worked with over 2,000 public schools where they go on site and train with the faculty in identifying bullying habits, how to stop it, and how to accommodate and comfort those that have been bullied or seen it firsthand, whether it's a family member or a best friend that it's occurring to. I feel like in the future, if proper training takes place and everyone takes it seriously, bullying will go down and people will take it seriously, because I feel like most people take and turn a cold shoulder when it should be the exact opposite. We should face it head on, take it by the horns, and get rid of it because it has no place in our public school systems. Because those kids are our future. And if they can't handle stress now, they won't be able to handle it later when they're trying to be productive members in our society. Now I've talked to you about bullying, its current state, its possible future. Let's bring this to a close. We went in depth about what bullying is, its common forms, such as cyberbullying and hazing. I talked to you about its current state in our public schools. That basically takes place every day. 1 in 3 students have experienced it. And I've also told you about how I feel the future will hold and turn out as long as proper training takes place, and hopefully it does. I hope this has given you some insight about bullying if you didn't know anything about it before, other than that it does happen. I thank you for your time. My name is Dustin Bryant. Have a good night.